Hey, JJ, I'm home.
Hey, sweetheart, how are ya? Mwah.
It's a day. Unfortunately, we lost another one.
What?
Yeah.
It's this COVID thing. See, I told you on this COVID thing, it's getting worse and worse out here. You should have stayed at home with the work-at-home job, but you didn't want to do that, man.
Listen, it is not Mr. Gloom and Doom, Negative Nancy. It is not COVID.
What?
It is just because in the service industry, servers find a better gig every single day. So they just kind of go wherever the grass is greener.
Well,
it sucks.
Well, I still liked it better when you worked at home.
I know you do. But
yeah.
On a better note.
Tell me something.
We're going to Cleveland.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Listen, we're not going to Cleveland.
Yes, we are.
Look, I've got work to do. There's editing. We've got a review to record.
We've got a party to attend.
A party?
Yes.
There'll always be times for parties.
No, there's no time for parties. Party time is now.
It's too expensive.
When's the last time you seen the family?
My family's going to be there. I don't have money.
It doesn't matter. They've all said that they're going to be there. We have to be there.
We do not have to be there.
We will be there.
We will not be there.
Bet we will.
We're not going.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
We're going to Cleveland.
Well, coming to Cleveland was a great idea. Great fun with the family, and we found a spot to review in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Thanks to my brother Jeremy for recommending it.
It was a wonderful idea, and look at you. You said we weren't going, and we did. And guess what we found? The taste.
Now, before we dive into today's review, please remember our rating system. Forks are good, knives are bad, and then there's the golden spoon. It is exceptional. Also, keep in mind that although we're rating categories, each and every dish in our food segment gets its own fork, knife, or spoon rating.
Now, let's talk about that location.
Well, as a party of six, we visited the restaurant Taste in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. It's in the Cedar Lee area. The area includes a cinema and theaters. Kane Park's out there, Mia. You're familiar with that?
Yes, I am. The children and I used to go over there many years ago. It's a wonderful park. Weren't you there at least once or twice in your youth?
Oh, yes. As a high school student, saw a couple of plays out there in Kane Park. Also, John Carroll University is out there, and many eateries up and down Lee Road and other areas in Cleveland Heights.
Absolutely. Their hours of operation are 7 days a week, but they're only open for dinner service Monday through Thursday. They're open from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday, they're open till 11 p.m. But on Sunday, they're only open to 9 p.m.
Now, parking out there, you do find parking on the street at the front entrance, but also note too, if you don't find it there, there's parking in the back and a rear entrance as well. A space for 15-20 cars back there.
Wonderful bistro-style patio. It's a little small, flanked by enormous elephant plants, but it gives you nice coverage from the street area.
Also, reservations can be made via Open Table, so real easy to get a spot out there. If they're busy, make sure you get a reservation.
Absolutely, and then they have a full bar service. You can either reserve a table or pony on up to the bar if you just want to grab a quick bite. It's a lovely bar as well.
And don't forget the live music out there with Gary. Wonderful guy. He retired as a Broadway pit musician in New York, so he knows his stuff. If you know show tunes, he probably knows it, but don't ask for Stevie Wonder or Billy Joel because he probably won't have that.
The interior was absolutely beautiful with the wine decor that it had up as well and the lovely yellow. It made it nice and mellow in there. It was dimly lit, intimate, and it's a local favorite location. So JJ, what do you think we should definitely rate this place?
I think it gets a fork. I mean, there are no incredible vistas, but it is a super place to be, sort of like the Short North here in Columbus.
Yes, I would definitely agree on that. A fork. Now we're off to drinks.
On drinks for our party of six, many selections. Started out with a Sauvignon Blanc by A.J. Lecluse, light and crisp, great for appetizers. Several mixed drinks, the Coconut Sunrise, Kettle One Martini, Bacardi and Coke's what I had per usual, Absolute and Cranberry White Russian, and a lovely cocktail called a Black Sidecar. Mia, it was a hit at the table. 5 of those drinks were ordered. So Mia, what was so special about the Black Sidecar?
See, sidecars are normally made with bourbon, but this sidecar was made with Hennessy, and it also had Merlot floated on top, and it had a Rosado cherry for its garnish. That drink was crafted to perfection. I've never had a sidecar like that, and I now know why we had 5 of those drinks at that table that night.
Making it a golden spoon.
Absolutely. Kudos to them for creating that cocktail. Now, off to the appetizers.
Well, we got started with 2 orders of fried calamari, which I know we've had before on this review. This one was zucchini, squash, and they served it with marinara, but it was a bit muted on the taste, Mia.
Absolutely. Out of all of the calamaris that we have enjoyed, this one unfortunately got a knife, and it was muted simply because the flavors were not brought out. I'm not sure if they skipped on the salt and pepper to allow the customer to adjust it to their flavor. However, I do enjoy my food slightly seasoned, giving me a little bit of wiggle room to adjust it to my taste.
And how about those truffle pommes frites?
They were absolutely delicious, fried to perfection, served alongside a mustard-style house-made aioli. Delicious. That definitely gets a fork. Now, JJ, tell us about those stuffed peppers.
They were the stuffed cubanella peppers with Italian sausage, mozzarella, marinara, and fresh basil. Now, I wasn't too thrilled about these stuffed cabanella peppers because they sat in a small pool of oil. I guess it was olive oil?
It was an infused olive oil. I guess they did that to add a little bit more flavor to it. However, it did have a lovely flavor, so it gets a fork despite a couple of obstacles. Now, onto the lobster cheese stuffed ravioli. Those were delicious, even though I did think that they took a little bit of a shortcut, but in this era of staffing shortages, I could understand why. The flavor on them were delicious with the Chardonnay cream sauce and a light touch of truffle oil. Definitely gets a fork there.
And now the salads with a small Caesar salad that I had. Now, it was light and crisp, pretty good, what you would expect, but don't forget there are other selections such as their butter lettuce salad and also a red and golden beet salad too. On my salad, the Caesar, I think I'll give that a fork. As we move into the entrees, Mia, we had a duck au vin, at least my brother Aaron did, and he had some criticisms about it.
Aaron, tell us all about that.
I've had duck. This duck actually is pretty tender, very tasty, but it seems a little bit more of a chicken taste.
Are you saying they gave you chicken instead of duck?
Look at that leg. Look how fat that leg is.
Yeah.
Ducks don't have fat legs like that. They're real skinny. And the meaty part of a duck leg only goes about from here to about right here. And the rest is real skinny. And the skin, it has a lot of pores in duck. More so than a chicken, you know, because a chicken is mostly like this. See how smooth that skin is?
Yeah.
It does taste good, but the ducks I've had, a little different.
And on my note, I did sample that duck as well because I have had the pleasure of enjoying a duck or two in my culinary experiences, because for those of you who don't know, I'm a chef as well. That duck tasted to me almost as if a chicken was trying to pretend to be a duck. I did not get the duck feel on my palate, and for that, we give that a knife. Now, we're moving on to the crab stuffed salmon. Now, I did have the pleasure of enjoying a taste of that as well, and it was served with a Chardonnay lemon cream sauce, wild mushroom risotto, and roasted vegetables. That dish was delicious. It definitely wasn't spoon-worthy, but it was delicious. Just had a little bit more sauce than I would like on my salmon, but the flavors were definitely there. So that gets a fork.
2 other dishes that get a fork are the garlic green beans, they get a fork, as well as the Brussels sprouts, they get a fork, that were paired with the entrees, as we do rate each and every dish on forks, knives, and spoons.
Now off to desserts. Now with desserts, I had the chocolate cake with vanilla bean ice cream, and it was also served with some fresh strawberries on the side. Beautiful plate presentation. The cake was nice and light and moist. It almost had the feel of a chocolate lava cake, but there was no lava. But it was warm and delicious, and that vanilla ice cream was out of sight. That definitely gets a fork. Now off to service.
On service, we have a few people to talk about. One is Hector, and he's a nice guy. I'm not sure if he's new to the industry, but I have to give the criticism that he was inattentive. He forgot a couple of orders he forgot and had to return to the kitchen and place those, and not very personable or conversational. And a restaurant of this caliber, I would expect the service to be on another level.
Absolutely. I work in a higher end restaurant, and I do know that you have to be able to read your tables. I'm not sure if Hector was having a bad day or if that's just his service style in general. However, he did not interact, nor did he really take it upon himself to make himself a part of that dining experience. So with that, you get a knife.
It gets a knife, I'm afraid so, because Hector was really more of an order taker and not someone who integrated himself well into our dining experience.
Right. Now, Hannah?
I do remember Hannah very well because she was the bartender. She came by her table, she interacted well, she was bubbly, and she came up with, I don't know if she came up with it, but she certainly mixed that wonderful black sidecar.
Absolutely, and we can't forget the hostess who also remembered the phone call that we made on our way in. She absolutely came over and introduced herself as well, and she kind of recovered a lot of Hector's mistakes. So with those two,
it's a fork.
Those two got a fork. Wonderful. Now, off to the price.
Before I state the amount of the check, I want to say there are several restaurant review websites out there that use 5-star rating systems. OpenTable, 499 reviews at 4.5 stars. Google Reviews, they also give them 4.5 stars at 298. Lowest score from Yelp at 115 reviews, 3.5 stars. So, did our experience match the price that we were given of $335 is the question, considering other reviews out there as well?
I don't know. I'm on the fence with this one, simply because when you're spending that sort of money for a family gathering, night out dining experience, you want to have all of the boxes checked. Some of them they missed, but with the family there and the location, it's kind of a mute point. It doesn't get a knife, definitely not a golden spoon. It's kind of a mute fork.
Right. And I also noticed in the reviews too that most of the complaints were about the wait time, and not sure if that was more due to the pandemic and staffing shortages or that it's simply not a priority at that establishment.
I do believe what they're trying to accomplish with their wait time is having that time with the family dining experience as opposed to a fast casual.
Still, with that server, it should be some interaction and some sensitivity for that table and responding to their needs, and I definitely did not feel that there. And I know that's a part of service, but it also plays into the price, so I'll barely give it a fork.
Barely. All right, so I guess we're back to the chairs because we've got to talk about this trip to Cleveland and this taste review. And welcome back to the chairs, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the end of this video. We truly, truly appreciate it. Now, we're only going to keep you for a little moment longer as JJ touches on just a little bit of a sensitive subject.
Yeah, and I don't want to go too long because it's already been a long video, but this is, a difficult thing to talk about sometimes when you talk about race. And in my research for this, I looked at a number of review sites, whether it was Google Reviews, Yelp, TripAdvisor, OpenTable. They all have reviews left on those sites, and more than a couple occasions. I mean, I wouldn't even mention if it was just one or two, but they did not feel that their complaints were addressed appropriately. And some outright called it racist. Now, it's important for me to say, not our experience at Taste. So if you have that experience, it's important to know. You can always go to a review site, let people know what your experience was.
And with that being said, don't forget to come back. Please hit that subscribe button. We've reached our goal of 100+, but we want to grow some more. We want to continue to bring you this content. And don't forget to touch that notification bell so that way it can help our algorithm and you can see more of us and enjoy these reviews. And on that terms, don't forget about forks, knives, and spoons.